From the film's website, the About section, it says that you went in 2008 personally to walk the Camino. At that point, did you know you were planning to make a film? Where were you at in your life?
Well, I absolutely had no intentions of making this film. When I walked, it was really, I was in between jobs, relationships, and homes. And in the, let's say it was the fall of 2007. And to be honest, you know, I had a couple months I felt sorry for myself not having those things. And then one day it just occurred to me, it's sort of out of the blue, like, I should take advantage of not having these things. You know, all my stuff was in storage and I was in between jobs. And so it just dawned on me that I should do the Camino. It kind of was just like a divine inspiration, I guess you could say. I had lived in Spain for about 6 years. So I had always sort of known about the Camino, but it never occurred to me to do it until that moment. And so then within a couple of months, I was on the Camino and walking. And I was just walking for me. I had been engaged to be married and that wasn't the right fit. And so my life was just a little bit, I wasn't sure where I was going. And so I ended up on the Camino. And when people found out, one man in particular, when he found out I was a filmmaker, he said, "Oh, you should do a documentary on the Camino." And my answer was absolutely not, under no circumstances. I had independently produced and directed a short documentary about 15 years before and swore I would never, ever do it again. It was just so challenging to raise all the money and do everything without the support of a production company or a TV station. But my other big hesitation was, for me, the Camino is so sacred and so magical, I was really scared I couldn't do it justice. And so I was really hesitant. And it wasn't until I got home, and probably a good 3-4 weeks after, that I decided to do the film. It was really like that little voice that kept saying, "You need to do this. You really need to make a documentary on it." And so finally I kind of succumbed, and 6 years later, here we are.
One of the subjects in your film, Tomas, I believe, he says that the Camino changes most people who walk it. Did it change you, and how?
It definitely changed me. There's a saying on the Camino that your real Camino starts when you get home. And I think that was definitely the case for me. For me, walking the Camino was, it's not that it was easy, but compared to making a film or distributing the film, it was way easier than those things. And the making of the film was very analogous to the walking. I really needed to reach out and ask for a lot of help. And I had so many people, literally thousands of people, that helped me make this film. And that's very much like on the Camino. Most people really get a lot of help. They have these wonderful, kind hospitaleros. Usually they're wonderful and kind, that is. And who help you along the way. And sometimes they'll care for your blisters, take an hour out of their day just to tend to your feet, and expecting nothing in return. So I had a lot of that on my journey in making the film as well. And I think in terms of how I changed, I think my big lesson from the Camino was really learning how much I was capable of. I think before I wasn't really living up to my potential. I kind of was very content with staying behind the scenes and being a producer, and not necessarily supporting or believing in my own vision. And this was really a case of me saying, this is something I believe in, this is important, and I'm going to go after it.